Hello Pisces, this is your November 15th to November 30th, 2016 read. For the main read, I'm still enjoying the Morgan Greer Tarot, so I'm going to keep using them for this period. And I feel like this deck accompanies it very well. The Saints and Angels Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue, so I'm going to keep using them as well. I think I'm just in that. I'm getting a lot of good messages, I'm feeling really good with them, so I'm going to keep going. As usual, decks have been pre-shuffled, so we get right into it. Okay. Now, that might go together. This card, I'm not sure where you fit. You maybe don't. Alright, we're starting out a little differently than I was expecting. We're going to start with the overall energy, which, this is the Ten of Rods, which is typically a burdens card. I'm getting labor of love with this. I'm getting, you got a lot going on, you got a lot on your plate, but I feel like it's kind of by your own doing. And there's a lot to do, and it is a lot, but I feel like, even though it's a lot, it's like slightly burdensome. I don't know. Like you put yourself in the situation and you like what's happening. Like you like the situations. I'm sorry. I try to look at the camera more. You do like the situations going on. I don't feel like they're bad situations. I just feel like there's a lot, and I really feel like it's of your own doing. When we go into this time frame, you have the Hanged Man. And I do feel, even though these situations are of your own doing, it also, like, I'm getting mostly the tied foot here, which means I feel like you feel like you're obligated to do these things. Okay. Interesting, because that's really, it's almost like you made, like you made the apparatus, and you kind of tied yourself there, but now you're like, well, alright, yeah, I tied myself here, but I have to do it now. Like, I have to, like, you feel like you're obligated to keep going. Like you wanted certain things to happen, and certain things are now happening, and you feel like responsible, and you feel like you're the one that has to keep it going. You're very much involved. It's almost, I feel like the situation's of your own doing, but it doesn't feel like a bad one. It just feels like there's a lot to do. That's what I'm feeling. Rods or action. You got the King of Rods, like, and I feel like you are doing it. Like you are. Like this is important to you, even though it's a lot, and it's a lot. It's not bad, and you're like, I said I would do it, and now it's almost like it's not even like I said I would do it, so I'm gonna do it. It's like I said I would do it, now I have to do it. Kind of feel like I got myself into this situation, and now I have to do it. That's kind of how I feel. And you're being very responsible, and but it's a lot. It's interesting because we get to this part, and this is from the 15th of November to the end of November, which I believe is the 30th. And I got a lot of face-down cards, which I'm thinking means until we get to this part, you're not going to see it coming. So, I'm also a Pisces. I'm curious what this is. Okay. The way this comes up, and I always read cards, I've said this millions of times, I always read cards based on what I'm getting off of them and feeling from them. If it's completely contradictory from what the natural meaning of the card is, well then so be it. But Temperance, I'm getting a lot of analytical patience here. Like, things have to work out, things need some time. And I feel like you're kind of holding back some of the things you need to do, but there's a reason for it. This is weird. It's almost like, as you're going through the things you've gotten into, I almost feel like there's other people who might need help. And you're purposely holding back or not getting involved in certain situations because of how much you've already started. But you're kind of happy because you know they're going to ask you. It's weird because I kind of feel like you know they're going to ask you, and you're waiting for that. And you like that. You like that feeling of being appreciated and needed. And I honestly feel like you're waiting you're waiting for them to say. Then it's like, but it's purposeful. It's like you have a lot going on, so it's not like you have extra time and you can just run out there and do everything. But you're like, you know they're going to ask you, and you know it's going to be a bit more than you want to do, but you're kind of like, you're proud that they ask you, because you're good and dependable, and if you say you'll do it, they know you'll do it. This goes in a couple different ways, because I feel like some of you really can't get involved in anything else, but people ask you, and you kind of have to say no, but it feels good to have been asked. I feel like you have a lot going on and you have to say no, and you don't, like, people understand that you can't, and you explain that you can't, and they understand, but you feel so good that they asked. But this doesn't happen until, like, you're into this situation by this point. I've also learned with these readings, especially since they're general, people tend to see these readings as they need to, so you could be at this point when you're watching this reading. That's interesting. What's going on around you? So there's only one card going on below, directly below, for this time frame. Ah, and that's the moon. The way I'm reading this card is like the moon becoming the sun. That's interesting. Clearly it's the moon card, you know what I mean? It's the major arcana. But I feel like things are going better than they seem. I'm waiting for more to come in, but okay. Let's put out some advice cards because I'm curious. Ooh, 3 of them popped up. Things are better than they seem. This is for, I have 3 cards for the environment. We have Be Brave, Faith, and Safe Travel. I really feel like things are going better than they seem. You may see things around you and think there's a lot going on, and some people have some issues. I'm really not feeling the situation's bad, though, and I feel like it feels like a lot, but I feel like it's not as bad as it seems. It's not as overburdensome as it seems. Being a Pisces, what I'm thinking this means is that you may be planning to do things, and you may be seeing all the things you have to do, and it may overwhelm you. It may not be as bad. Like, you may be, like, pre-stressing, I guess I should say. Like, if you list it all out on paper, it looks like a lot. And you're like, oh my god, I have all this to do, and I gotta get it done. And you're like, you're dedicated, and you said you'd do it, and you're gonna do it. You're like, and again, it's not like, I said I'd do it, so I'm gonna do it. It's kind of like, I said I'd do it, now I have to do it. That's kind of how it feels. Like, I said I would, so I have to. That's kind of how it feels. And it feels like a lot. I feel like you're kind of looking at it, like, if I'm relating it to the way I am, you're looking at it like a list, and you're just like, oh my god, what did I do? I said I'd do all these things, and now I have to do them, because I said I would. And it can be a bit overburdensome. The moon in the environment, it's telling me it's not that bad. It's just, I almost feel like you can readjust things and reorganize them in a way that gives you more time to yourself. You may need some time to recharge your battery in this time frame. They're saying just hold on, have some faith, you know, things are going to work out well, everybody's safe. It's interesting because I feel like this is around you. Like, it's saying that the things around you aren't going to be that bad. It's going to be okay. But we might, I'm a Pisces, so I'm saying we might psych ourselves out. Not to the point where we're completely paralyzed, but it just may get ourselves a little more stressed than we needed. Now this card, I had another one face down, which I usually don't do them face down, but for some reason they wanted to come out face down. This one, it looks like it's past this time frame. Granted, this is the November 15th to the end of November period that this is for, but keep in mind, it's going to basically come to you. This reading will come to you when it's valid for you. Whenever this is happening, this situation, this actual situation, afterwards, around you, there's great new beginnings. So, there's more good things going on around you, and I know we're going into the holiday time after this, for most of us, depending on what happens for you. I know people all over the world are watching these. I was kind of flabbergasted when I realized that. I looked on YouTube and I saw that there's a lot of different areas watching. I was impressed, and thank you for watching. But whatever it is, after this time frame, more good things are going to happen around you. I feel like there's invitations to events, parties, people hanging out. Like it depends on your life, but there's a lot of good things. If this is resonating with you, this situation is pushing into the future and bringing you more action, more things that you want to do, more good times. This isn't the environment, though. So it's like, I feel like you're getting invited to, you're being included in that type of feeling. I don't feel like you're starting something yourself. I feel like things are happening and going on around you, and you're being invited to be a part of. So the start itself might be just your start and your involvement in the situation, whatever it may be. Because I feel like, again, you're being invited to, invited in. You know what I mean? You're wanted, and people like you around, that type of thing. It goes in a variety of social arenas to like business, pleasure, family, friends, whatever it may be. Something about this situation is very well noted. Like, I almost feel like some Pisces are experiencing new family members. Like, either somebody else has been married in, or there's a new boyfriend or girlfriend, or there's a new element to the family in some respect. And however that is happening, your involvement with that is really like making people really appreciate you and really like being around you. And in some cases, like, they're getting to know you, and they're like, not only are you dependable, but they like they like hanging out with you, and they want to hang out with you more in that sense. So that's kind of where this beginning is, like being invited to, being included in. Like, I'm getting the example, like, if there's a new in-law, and this new in-law likes you, and then they invite you to stuff with their family, like, it's almost like they like you enough to like you, to them you are now you're part of their family too. Like, they completely fully integrate you. Like, you're a part of that family. Like, this is like they love you type of situation, that type of feel. Is there anything else I want to go for this? No. Okay. I'm getting like... Okay. There's one last card for this read, because I was seeing if we're going to do any more advice cards or anything like that. The way I read, I mean, I wait for the feeling to come. Do I need more advice cards? Do I not? What's going to happen? I don't like pigeontoe it, whatever that word is. I never get that phrase right. I don't hold to like whatever pattern I usually use. Whatever it feels like should come out, that's what I do. This came out, and I'm getting it connected with your overall energy. So, like, it feels like a lot. I don't feel like they're bad things again. I don't feel like it's like dreadful situations. I just feel like there's a lot to go on. And the advice is don't compromise. Don't compromise the quality or the effort, or don't like try to like, you know, cancel a few things. Don't cancel a few things. That's interesting. That's how it's coming through. It's like it can all work out. It'll all be fine. Be brave. Have faith. Things are going to work out. It seems like more than it is. You might have a tendency, like I'm relating to this myself. Like I said, I'm a Pisces, so you might psych yourself out. Don't psych yourself out. It can be good. It can be done. It can be good. Just keep going with it. I'm getting for some of you, you may want to actually write it down, which if you're me, again, like me, you might freak yourself out by writing it down when you see it all on paper. But this will give you a chance to like restructure it. Break it up into pieces where you can. Break it up between days, like wherever you can. Good advice on that also is like when you break it up between days if possible or in pieces, try to do it to where everything is done like 2 to 3 days ahead of time. That way if something happens and you can't do it that day, you can catch up the next. That type of thing. Okay. I'm getting that we're done. We're done. Because I'm just waiting to see if any more information came through. Of course, I would love to hear your comments. Thank you very much for everybody who's been commenting. I try to get to them as quickly as possible. Sometimes I see them on my email, but I don't respond to them until I go back in, or I thumbs up them when I go back in later, because it's hard to type on the phone for me. It's just not my thing. But thank you. Of course, if you would like a personal reading from me, go ahead and email me. Email me, jamesforastral@gmail.com. James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.